Out of all my favorite cruise lines, four of them no longer exist, reinforcing my idea that the golden age of cruise ships is over. In my opinion, that golden age was from 1960 to 2000, and then took a break until the 2010s. What does this have to do with Premier? Nothing. I just needed a segue, and I'm still looking. Anyway, one of the cruise lines that redefined an industry forever was Premier Cruise Lines, a company that rose to become the largest cruise line in the world in under 10 years, then slowly and painfully lost it all due to bad corporate management and a backstabbing from Disney. So, let's take a look at what happened to Premier Cruise Lines. In the 1980s, two men met at Norwegian Caribbean Line. Let's call them Bruce and Björner, because that was literally their names. Anyways, they agreed to work together if they ever had any business ideas, and one day they had one. They would set up a cruise terminal in Port Canaveral because it was close to Disney World, unlike Miami, so they could capitalize on people from Disney World wanting to add a new adventure to round off their vacation. However, they needed funding, and they found the Dial Corporation, who at the time owned the Dial soap brand. After acquiring an old Italian ship and renaming it Starship Royale, the company was off the ground. However, they needed something to stand out more, so they marketed it to kids with programs and activities for all ages. Remember, kids rarely took cruises at this time, and it was mostly a retiree thing. In 1985, they officially partnered with Disney, marketing their ships as the Big Red Boat, because their ships were indeed very big and very red. They would sell their cruises as part of Disney World tickets, and with this, Premier expanded their fleet, even buying a ship named Oceanic. And, for most of that entire ship's career, it would be known as the Big Red Boat 1. They also bought ships like the Starship Majestic and Atlantic, with most coming from the Holmes line. Disney branding was also everywhere on the ships. They even bought a private island, with a channel dug out so that the Majestic, one of their ships, could fit through. However, it was only that ship they could go to the island. In fact, if you look at satellite images of the island they use till this day, you can see that not only did they kick off all the locals and make a golf club and marina, but the dredging is also still there from the Big Red Boat days. The island had many attractions, including staging Captain Hook taking a passenger hostage on the island and the passengers needing to find treasure for him. But this isn't Bright Sun film, so let's move on. They were profiting in the tens of millions and became the largest cruise line by profits. However, in the late 1980s, the company already sold off all but three of their ships: the Majestic, the Atlantic, and their Oceanic. I'm starting to think the company was a big White Star Line fan. Anyways, Port Canaveral was now being populated by Premier and Carnival. It was at this time that Premier told the Dial Corporation that they should build new ships for themselves. Now, if they did this, they would be tarnished today for having boxes in their fleet, but I think all cruise ship haters can agree that Premier had almost all nice ships except for this thing. But anyways, Dial said no, but was open to the idea of selling it to Carnival, and in the early 1990s, the deal was finalized, but Carnival said it was too high, and Dial canceled the merger and went on with no new ships. This was as the Monarch of the Seas was being built, which would change the cruise industry forever. Now, Carnival had just looked through all of Premier's documents and had the info on how the cruise line worked. Then they used that formula and added their own spice to it. Bruce sold his shares and left Björner to do the cruise line stuff, and he did the same a little while after, trying to save the company. Disney also saw the writing on the wall and stopped their contract early to start Disney Cruise Lines. Just like Carnival, Disney had come, looked at Premier's model and how they did it, and then backstabbed them and left them to die. The executives freaked out, and even after signing a deal with Warner Bros. To have the Looney Tunes characters roam around the ship, Premier sold everything except for the Oceanic. Premier was later sold to a holding company which bought older ships for them, and even removed the Big Red Boat branding, making them blue. However, this was in the late 1990s. Debt piled up and Premier canceled the contract with Warner Bros. In 1996, Bruce came back to try to fix the line. He brought back the Big Red Boat brand and even began naming ships Big Red Boat 2, 3, and 4. However, Disney launched Disney Wonder and Disney Magic. Then it was all over. In fact, some ships like the Big Red Boat 2 only did 3 cruises. In the 2000s, the company was over, and one of their ships even sank in Panama. The only premier ship still around is the Rembrandt, now a hotel named SS Rotterdam. In 2003, the company was gone for good, however, still lives on with Disney Cruise Lines. The impact Premier had was incredible. Most cruise lines depend on families. Most of the things cruise ships do now was made by Premier. It was an amazing cruise line and is now forgotten, but we do have Premier to thank for a lot of things. If there was a brand that would be great to bring back, I think it would be Premier. Anyways, this is what happened. See you next time.